I am so glad that I had this opportunity on the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel to set the record straight on fear mongering that's going on the far right. Right wingers are using fear mongering again, and they're liars, and they're using misinformation. I'm Scoot. Thank you for being with me here on the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. I hope you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, we give you a little notice every time we do something live. It's real simple. Just subscribe. It's free, and we give you notice every time we post something. And you're certainly free to comment on anything we talk about. But so much of YouTube and so much of social media is dominated by right wingers. Now, again, I'm going to distinguish between Trump supporters, conservatives, Republicans, and right wingers, and right wing Trump supporters. These are different groups. There are Trump supporters, conservatives, and Republicans. Okay, that's a group. And then there are Trump supporters and right wingers that are extremists. I mean, they don't want to admit it, but they're activists. And they dominate social media with total bullshit. And so I'm glad we have a chance to use this to balance some of that out. Okay, so the Biden administration is talking about going door to door to help more people get vaccinated. Well, this is causing the right wingers to not only freak out, but they're flipping out. First of all, let's hear what Biden said. Biden said, quote, now we need to go community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, and oftentimes door to door, literally knocking on doors to get help to the remaining people to protect them from the virus. So they're talking about reaching into communities and neighborhoods where some people maybe don't have access to the vaccination. I mean, they really do, because there's a lot of ways to get to it and free rides are offered and all that. But maybe there's some people who don't feel like they have access to it. So the Biden administration is talking about going door to door to help introduce people to this. There's nothing about going door to door and forcing people to get the vaccination. That's not happening. They're going door to door to offer to people who maybe didn't think that they had access to it. Well, Republican from Florida, Congressman Matt Gaetz, and Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, Republican from Colorado, they're freaking out over this. And again, this is the tactic of people like Tucker Carlson. It's the tactic of people on the far right. It's about fear-mongering. It's about making you afraid. But they're making you afraid of something that you shouldn't fear. And that's what's just maddening about this. Where's the policy? Where are the right-wingers when it comes to a platform, when it comes to policy? They don't have any. It's about fear-mongering. They want to scare the shit out of you. And they think that's how they're going to get your attention. And it works for a lot of people. But Congresswoman Boebert says that the Biden administration is going to go door to door, and they're going to collect personal health information. And they're going to use this to force people to get vaccinations. Zero truth in that. Zero. Not true. Then she went to one of her fave topics, guns. And Boebert says, this year they're going to go around door to door and get you to take the vaccination. Next year, they're going door to door, and they're going to, are you ready? You know what I'm going to say. They're going to confiscate your guns. Bullshit. They're going to confiscate your guns. How long? I've been a talk show host for a long time. And I have heard over many years, this bullshit idea that either it's this liberal or this liberal, but somebody's going to come get your guns. I ask you this question. Do you still have guns? Yes, you do. Has anybody confiscated your guns? No. If they did take your guns away, it's because of something you did, and you deserve to have them taken away. But nowhere is there any sign that the government is about to take your guns. I mean, I heard this when Barack Obama became president, and then when he was reelected. I mean, this is the shit that they just keep feeding people, trying to scare people. And they're preying on weak, gullible individuals. And it's a damn shame. And Congressman Gaetz says that Biden's going to use the door-to-door information to make lists of people who don't want the vaccines. And he's going to use that list to impact jobs and travel and schooling. Zero truth in that. Zero. And I find it interesting that there are right-wingers who still support this idea that businesses should be able to discriminate against people based on their sexual orientation. So why do they give a shit about whether or not, they discriminate against somebody because they didn't get the vaccine? I mean, you care about this discrimination, but not this discrimination? I mean, stop this false sense of, of being a patriotic American, because it's bullshit. So let's bring in my pillow guy, Mike Lindell. Yeah, he had to get involved in this too. He's freaking out over the door-to-door plan by the Biden administration. Mike Lindell says, well, I already knew that was coming. I had heard rumors that in Spain, way early on, that they were going to make a big master list. And that's why I've said before, it's the mark of the beast in my mind. That's my opinion. That's in the Bible. That's where it's manifesting. So the vaccination to Lindell is the mark of the beast. I mean, this is America. You can believe whatever the hell you want to believe. But that's just a crock of shit. I mean, these people are just freaking out. What is wrong? The best thing that we can do is just not believe them. Don't give them the ammunition that they need to go on and just scare us through false information. Now, I'm not a big fan of Joe Biden, but these things aren't true. And the idea of going door to door is a liberal idea of helping people who may have felt disenfranchised feel like they can get the vaccination if they want it. But they're not going to force them to get it. And all this other stuff that comes up about they're going to do this, they're going to make a master list, that's not true. No matter how many times they say it, that does not make it true. And yet there are people who will believe it because they want that to be true. And many people are following the wrong leaders. And they're following the wrong leaders down this path of stupidity. This path of just, it's ridiculous. I'm glad we had this time to set the record straight on this and at least balance out some of the right-wing bullshit that's on social media. Join me on my radio show on WWL in New Orleans, 870 AM, 105.3 FM, and you can download the app Odyssey, AUDACY, AUDACY, and type in WWL. And you've got the show wherever you've got your phone, which we know is everywhere. Yeah, even there. And I'm on 1 to 4 Central Time in the afternoon. Thank you for being with me, and I hope you subscribe to the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. We're just building this, and you can be a part of that. So thank you for joining me here.